everyone, my name is Amelia Arambula. I am the EdTech specialist, and I would like to say thank you for joining me in the EdTechPLN workshop series. Let's get started. I would like to start off with a quote by Bill Gates, and this is one of my favorite quotes as it relates to technology and education. Technology is just a tool. In terms of getting the kids working together and motivating them, the teacher, you and me, are the most important. By Bill Gates. I thought I'd share this quote with you because it resonates with me when it comes to teaching in the 21st century. And I would like to emphasize the importance of the role of the teacher in the classroom, not just in a face-to-face environment, but also in a virtual environment.
In slide number 4, you see two infographics. This image represents the brick-and-mortar, online learning, and blended learning models. On the opposite side, you have a Venn diagram, which depicts the similarities and differences between the all three models. In this visual, you can also enhance the picture. You can zoom in and zoom out as needed, and you can print as well. I would like to point out the differences between all three different models of teaching. You have the brick and mortar. The brick and mortar is a traditional instruction institution. For example, you have a district, then you have the school, then you have the classroom, and then you have the teacher in the classroom providing instruction face-to-face in a traditional classroom-style lecture instruction for the student. This is the traditional brick and mortar. You also have the technology-rich instruction, which is provided in a traditional setting. Now let's take a look at the online learning. This one is fully online and it relies on a learning management system to deliver the instruction and provide resources to the student. The online learning instruction never provides the opportunity for students to fully interact with the teacher. That means a face-to-face interaction. However, it does have the opportunity to create video interactions, and these can be synchronous or asynchronous. For the blended learning model, you have various options. You have the rotation model, the flex model, the self-blended model, and the enriched virtual model. All of these models might be different, but they can also be a combination of all of them into a blended learning experience. I would like you to keep this in mind as we continue with this training. Now, what exactly is the blended learning model? The critical part about the definition of the blended learning model is that it involves some element of control over time, place, path, and/or pace. Time, learning is no longer restricted to the school day or the school year. That means the student can complete the training or the online class anytime, anywhere. This also goes hand in hand with place. Learning is no longer restricted to the four walls of the classroom. It can be a virtual environment where the student can access the learning or the content anytime, anywhere. The path is no longer restricted to the one-size-fits-all model. The path can be personalized by the teacher for the student to meet their learning needs and allow them to be successful in their content area and in their classroom. Pace. Learning is no longer restricted to the pace of the entire class. Now students can fast forward or slow down depending on their needs. And these can be achieved with the use of technology tools. The 6 P's of the blended model include personalized instruction, participation, personal interaction, place, pacing, and preparation. All of these 6 P's apply to both the teacher and the student. This is an example of the blended model cycle. This is only one example of a combination of the various blended model types. For example, you have a teacher-led classroom instruction, which is face-to-face in a brick-and-mortar institution. You also have the collaboration and communication that can happen between the students to students, student to teacher, and teacher to student. And this can be face-to-face or online. You also have independent practice that can happen in the classroom or can happen online, virtually, by students demonstrating mastery of content by completing assignments or projects. Personalized online learning can be indicative of the path that the teacher has created for that student or group of students, depending on the student needs. Once again, this is only one example of variations between the blended model types. In slide number 9, 10, 11, and 12, I provide definitions for each of the blended learning model types that you can research and find out more about. The rotation model, the flex model, the a la carte model, and the enriched virtual model. You're going to find that as you read these definitions, you might already be doing something similar or a combination of all of these into your class instruction. The ESTE standards for educators and students are a great way to assess what we are doing as educators and what our students are doing to meet the 21st century standards when it comes to the use of technology. The ESTE standards for educators are only guidelines, and it's somewhat of a roadmap for educators to begin to think and design instruction that meets the needs of the 21st century learner. We will explore the ESTE standards for both educators and students at a later workshop. The big concept of this presentation: blended learning is not a one-size-fits-all approach, and it might look and feel different or as a combination of the various blended learning types. Nevertheless, it is a face-to-face teacher-led classroom instruction with online components. I hope you have enjoyed this short presentation, which covers the differences and similarities between the brick-and-mortar online learning, blended learning. I will provide additional resources for you to explore within this presentation. Please continue with your training.